자, 이번 순서는 이제 세 번째 스페셜 세션인데요.
This is the third special session. The presenter is going to talk about Rootrix innovative technology. The speaker is Jungrok, CEO of Rootrix. And he actually appeared in the Unicorn House, which is a startup competition show. He was very impressive in the show. I think his case is quite relevant with this forum. Please welcome him with a big round of applause. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Trees standards and digital technology will innovate that. I am An Jungrok, CEO of Rootrix. Let me talk about the overall market situation of trees. We are talking about big data. Even when you look at each post on Instagram, such data is being accumulated. Fintech, agtech, now even agriculture sector includes data. And there's a Procore which amounts to 10 trillion won for other sector. But when it comes to landscaping, we do not have a startup. In Korea, in the United States, we do not have such a startup. So we created this company. There are huge needs and growth potential for Korea's tree market. It is growing at an exponential rate, and it is receiving a lot of attention. Recently, the Gwanghwamun Square was completed, and about 25 billion won was injected into this project. So let me now give you a brief explanation about landscaping. This is my first time to stand in front of an audience. So there are many experts from all walks of life, but I'm sure you're not really familiar with landscaping. So landscaping is a department of studies about decorating the architectural structures. So we are decorating those buildings with the trees. So when it comes to architecture, the steel structure and the bricks are very important. But when it comes to landscaping, trees are the main ingredients. But Korea's tree market had some old issues, and it has very unreasonable trading system. And in Korea, we do not have reasonable price standards. And also, we do not have good trading system, and there's no department which is responsible for this market. So right now, there are no standards for pricing trees. So it's like an unruly market. The Ministry of Agriculture, the Forestry Service, the Ministry of Land, they might be responsible for the landscaping industry, but they do not cover the entire industry. They only, each of them is responsible for just big parts of the landscaping industry. That's why there's no organization, no space for storing and accumulating data of landscaping. Have you ever thought about purchasing a tree? I guess not. So when I interview people say this. My parents are looking for a tree. My uncle has a mountain. I often hear this from people. They ask me, how do you secure trees? How do you obtain trees? Currently, in Korea, there are many website platforms and communities about purchasing trees, but such information uploaded there is not really accurate. It's not accurate, very vague information, just rough information about pricing and location. So consumers cannot just purchase trees based on such inaccurate information. They have to go to the actual selling site. So because of that, tree suppliers sometimes miss the perfect timing of selling trees, so they have to dispose of all the grown trees. And consumers, they have to visit all the tree farms. That actually incurs costs. Or because of the inaccurate data, even after they purchased 100 trees, 99 trees died after they brought them to their business site or to the site where they use the trees. So a small size enterprises and businesses, they often go bankrupt. So in the middle of trading, there are brokers. So these brokers are helping consumers, but at the same time, they are taking advantage of asymmetrical information distribution, and they are profiting a lot from that. So we wanted to create a good platform for purchasing trees. So once you select the type of trees and price range, then they can get relevant information. And so far, values of trees and commission fees of trading, they were all based on the terms rules. But we wanted to increase trust and credibility, so we have fixed the commission fees for brokerage, and we have a lighter information which has no errors. So far, there are standards for width and everything. But when it comes to high and tall trees, we just, use our ballpark guess. But now, with our service, we can give them exact measurements. And the value of tree originates from the shape of tree. Let's say there's a pine tree. So all these pine trees in the world, they look different. They are sometimes curved a little bit. So consumers can measure the price only when they know the exact shape and structure of the tree. So we help consumers to identify them. So once we receive an order for a tree, so we are doing actually different from the existing practice where brokers, they look for the relevant trees within their network. If they don't have it, they have to contact other brokers and sellers. So it takes quite a long time because they go through a lot of layers. Information becomes increasingly less accurate. So we help them gain accurate information, and also we show them lifelike shape of trees they are looking at from the perspectives of suppliers. And we meet the president of the Landscaping Association. Usually the members of the association are really old. So basically old people are growing trees. So when we call them to ask about trees information, since trees information change every year because trees grow every year, so these farmers cannot count or measure these trees they are growing. So we actually, on behalf of them, we conduct surveys and analysis of the trees they are growing. By doing so, we gain accurate information, and we apply our algorithms to process such data. And after that, we present a fixed commission fees. That way, consumers can immediately accept the deal and purchase the trees they want. So when we collect information, we are best utilizing GIS system, Geographical Information System. And so we have exact geographical information. And we also match the land address and tree types and everything. So simply, once we receive an order, we can populate an information about the proposal. So that is our business model. So simply, we present a fixed commission rate, and we help the consumers to buy trees in a very accurate and fast manner. Let me talk about the technology we are using. We use a radar camera, and there's a 3D printing technology. So the width and height of a tree will be produced, such data will be produced. So for example, right now when people survey trees for a large farm, people have to go to the tree farm and they have to manually measure trees and everything. So people stand next to trees, so relatively they can guess how tall the trees are. So in order to conduct a survey for 10,000 square meters of farm, it takes about 4 days. But when we use this radar technology, it only takes like 16 minutes to complete the survey. So simply, I'd like to tell you what differentiates us from other brokers. The existing brokers only survey the parts where there are trees to be sold this year. They don't want to survey other areas. So the entire survey is impossible for them. But for us, it's very easier to conduct the entire survey because we can use the relevant technology. So we can survey the trees to be sold this year and the trees to be sold next year as well. And there are, but the current brokerages, they do not actually survey the entire farms. So they just simply collect price information for only the patch part of the tree farms. But for us, we do the 3D scans of the entire farm, and we produce the specification and measurement data, and also it can be used as a data to predict their future growth. Let's say there's a 80 centimeter width tree, but the tree's value varies depending on who sees that. But when we scan 80 centimeter wide trees or 80 centimeter long trees, we actually have a lot more samples, so we can have more qualitative evaluation of the values of trees. So my company was selected as part of the TIPS project. So for the next 2 years, we are going to conduct a project. So my company is not really old company. It's really at its infancy. It is about 11 months old since its inception. So last August of last year, I decided to open my own startup company. So in the TV startup competition show, I was lucky enough to secure many investors, and also now my company was designated and selected as a TIPS project funded by the government. So the tree market in Korea is really lawless market. So in many different ways, we are thinking about how to make this market healthier and how can we increase the pie here. So suppliers should be on our side. Suppliers are keenly wanting marketing channels and their stock management application. So on their behalf, we are thinking about serving as their selling agent. So we are testing our service with focus on pine trees. So my company is quite young and energetic company. So this morning, I visited Gochang, far away from Seoul, and I visited the tree farms, and we are collecting data from tree farms in Gochang. So our data collection is happening at a very fast pace. And top 10 construction companies are actually placing orders for us. So today we went down to the farms to conduct an on-site inspection. So we are trying to grow our business very fast. Our ultimate goal is once we complete 3D scanning, we will be able to calculate carbon sinks as well. That's our ultimate goal. So to that level, we will develop our technology. So the trees and tree-related software has great potential. So we are teamed up with best people here. So since the undergrad, I studied landscaping studies and even went to Harvard to study in this field. But since we did not have the tree data, my designing could not be realized. So in order to realize my ideas and my designs of software, we needed accurate data. That's why we created this team. So once we successfully test this software and model here, we will expand it to America. So CTO is my undergrad college, and CSCO is the second generation of the pine farmer. And COO is also very competent as well. So we want to deliver the beauty of nature to more people. That's why we created tree trading system for the first time in Korea. So Rootrix will do its best until we realize our ultimate goal. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It was very impressive presentation. It was by Mr. An Jungrok. Thank you very much for your insightful presentation. So it's been just 11 months since the company was created. So it is making such a huge stride. It is truly a startup company. Thank you very much for your presentation.